So first of all, the thing is
Right, that's why you already got it.
they didn't hear you.
Who did?
Hey y'all, good evening. We are back with another episode of Pain Reality.
Did y'all hear me?
You didn't introduce nothing.
Oh. Good evening, good evening, good evening.
I mean, they had heard that part because we was already off of meeting. I was just saying. But I'm Tia. I'm Tia Payne, and who are you?
I'm Jew.
Jew who?
Jew.
Jew who?
So we got a good show tonight coming up. We actually have some special guests. I'm just Jew. Like Cher, one name, stuff like that. So I'm Jew. All right, so we got a good show. We actually got some guests. We have a returning couple, married couple. The Moles are back.
The moles
are back.
So we're going to bring up the moles so they can introduce themselves, and then we'll bring up our second special guest couple right after them. We have brought the moles.
Welcome, Moles. Welcome.
Hello.
I like the man bun. I like it. This is why I be telling Julian he need to do the man bun, but he be telling me he can't do it. But I like it.
The boy likes
Shut
singles.
up, Jew. Shut up, Jew.
I ain't saying that. I said the boy likes singles. I'm talking about you. I ain't saying nothing. I mean, you rock the man bun, you rock it, bro. Here, you don't get a little spoon.
We is not talking about the little spoon. You was terrible.
I ain't never gonna be the little spoon.
Hey,
Don't let me out. You will laugh all night about
we're
that.
not going back to
I
that.
don't know too many men that want to be the little spoon. I'm just saying. That's just weird.
That's terrible.
Hold me, dear.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Being a little spoon.
You said what?
Hey, wait.
I'm the big spoon.
Hey, wait. Destiny said you need to get a man bun.
Who?
Destiny.
Well, what? My scalp?
You are funny.
Better
Okay.
chill. I'm not getting none of that glued on hair. All right, so the Moles are back, but we also have Devontae and Jolene Harris joining us for the first time. And all the welcome.
Yes, the children.
Oh, my bad. It's just a baby. My fault.
Welcome to Pain Reality, where we talk everything reality in the form of what the pain is thinking. So tonight we are going to be talking about lessons we have learned along the way, from singleness to dating to now we are all married. All different lengths of times, all different number of kids, all different stages right now. So that's what we want to talk about tonight. I'm gonna let Jew take it away because I've been trying to force him to talk about all these things that come to his head that we should talk about. So take it away, Jew. What you got for us?
All right, so first I'm gonna let y'all have the floor so y'all can tell everybody how long y'all been married. So because y'all are brand new, we'll let the Harrises go first.
We've been married for 2 years. It'll be 3 years in December.
Wow.
2 years, almost 3 in December. What are you talking about? All right, Moles.
We've been married 5 years, right?
Almost
Yeah,
5 years. It will be 5 years in August. If he don't stop chewing
Wait a
his
minute.
peanuts like this.
Did she look at you like, do you know?
You better know. That's what she said.
He,
Yeah.
It was the
he
roundup.
better know.
Oh Lord.
How long we
Yeah,
been
that's right.
Huh?
What she said?
married?
What kind of question is that? You know how long we've been married?
Yes, I know.
All right.
As long as y'all know, that's all that matters.
That's it.
Unacceptable.
No.
I know how long we've been married. Don't try to
Well,
put me
I
on the
know,
spot.
but if everybody how long they've been married, and the men said it, that means now
the men said it, so
Yes.
now I have to say it as the man. We've been married
See what you started, Devontae?
Literally.
Damn it.
We've been married 13 years. You want me to count the months? Like they
Yep.
little babies?
Okay.
No, many months.
Seconds, minutes,
No,
hours.
not at all. It'll be 14 in September 19th.
Oh, you remember the day?
He got it written down on his hand.
You already know. No need. Okay, so let's what was the first question I had up there?
What is the first question that Julius Payne came
Don't do
up
that.
with? My bad. I'm sorry.
I forgot. Okay, so before we get into the lessons that we learned and all that good stuff, what was the biggest adjustment that you all had to make going from single life to dating life to marriage?
What do you say?
We'll let the Harrises take this one first.
Say, what's the
I think
biggest
the memory is
adjustment
what-
you all had to make going from single life to dating to marriage? Because realistically, a lot of people say you're single until you're married.
That's true.
Thanks.
When I becomes we,
Yeah.
it's
I
no
agree.
longer I. It's we.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? That was a little quick.
I think just like more considering that it's another person, you know, like you can't just move how you want to move for real. Like if I want to do something, I need to check with my wife and make sure she ain't got nothing planned, or I guess something like that.
It's the whole thing for me. You know, I live by myself. I had a roommate, but then I lived by myself. So I was used to doing things and how I did things, or how, you know, not before kids even. So I was just used to things being a certain way. And then when you are married, you have to take on a whole other person. You know what I mean? He took on me, and not just the sense of like the living situation, you know, that changed, you know what I mean? But a sense of like, you're no longer just carrying your stuff either. I would say like what you carry is just a person, you know, your day. If they carry something in the house, if I have stuff and I'm not doing what I need to do, you know, he feels that as well. You know what I mean? So it's like you just take a whole other person.
All right, thank you. Mo?
That's so funny. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure he'll probably have a different answer, but that for me, that was the number one. Because of course I was the saved, single, sane woman, you know, independent minded and like strong, independent minded. And the number one thing was, in a sense, and I'm still working on it at times, but that humbling myself and submitting, because I'm like, easily being a boss, easily being a leader, easily being, like I said, that strong, independent woman. So where now I'm like, okay, I actually have to submit to this man. I actually have to consider this. What?
Submit to who? When?
See this? See,
Hey, she got on here and started lying. She don't listen to me.
Hey, bro, say.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
he makes it so hard.
Tell your story.
No, this.
That's your story.
The biggest adjustment was not cussing him out. Yeah, there we have it. Go ahead, tell your part.
I would agree wholeheartedly.
This session about to turn into a marriage counseling session.
I would agree with what Jolene said, 175%. It's you get accustomed to how you would do or handle things, and then it happens, and now you got to try to like adjust. And see, the thing about adjusting too, as a man, I think like a lot of times we're set in a certain ways, or we like things a certain way or done a certain way, and when the woman doesn't acquiesce to what
Wait a
is
minute.
being asked
Hey,
sometimes,
hold on, man.
but the task is
Hold
not
on,
carried
hold on.
out.
Hold on, Mr. Moore. Hold on, man. This ain't that. This ain't when they don't what?
You can't even spell that.
When they don't adhere to what you're asking them to do, it becomes that's what the most difficult part of it was, because you got to learn how to like you can't always speak on it because then it becomes a situation. So you kind of got to like learn how to professionally bite your tongue because you're so used to having stuff your way, and you can't always say that your way is the right way because that doesn't mean their way is wrong. It just doesn't mean it always have to be your way. So that was like, that's one of them type situations there, So that's the most difficult thing I think when you go from dating to married. As far as socially and everything else, I think when you get married, actually when you start dating somebody seriously, I think it kind of excuse me, it kind of get easier because the people who ain't supposed to be with you, they normally end up falling off anyway. So it ain't really like the friends and all that. The people start fading away. You're like, man, I ain't talked to him in forever. But the people who like rock with you and they sticking by you, they normally ride with you through the whole thing. So I would say those are the biggest differences. Is like I said, learning to get away from some of the old people that you shouldn't be around, or separate yourself from them, and then taking on this new person and trying to learn them as they try to learn you.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah.
What about you?
I had it on the tip of my tongue. I forgot what I was. A huge adjustment for me was when you dating somebody, they can go home.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, being realistic, like, but like you said, like, okay, if we get into it and we're dating, all right, I'll holler at you later. And somebody going home. We in the same house, married, we get into it. I'll see you in a few hours in the bed. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Nobody can go home. Like, yeah, we can leave, go somewhere, but we're coming back. So, like, learning how to, because
Once you give me a call, hey kids, where your mom? Tell her I'm never coming home.
Hey, dude, say, yeah, it's Richie.
It's Richie.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with.
But I mean, like, it was just learning how to, like you said, Mike. I think in some senses, pick your battles to where it's like, is it really that drastic? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, if we're dating and you come to my house and you put the canned goods where they don't go, I might be like, look, it's time for you to go. But I mean, in marriage, like, okay, I'm gonna just fix it.
Fix the cans.
Yeah, you just put them where they belong. And hopefully, by me modeling the behavior, you begin to be like, oh, they go here.
So clearly, Jew was taking some pointed shots at me about putting up groceries.
No pointed shots. Stuff has a place.
Whatever, dude.
No, but the adjustment, but what Jew said, it is so real because at the end of the day, when you realize that you're married and there is no, in a sense, we don't believe in separation and divorce and all that stuff. At the end of the day, we're gonna work this out. No matter how mad I am or how heated the moment is, we're gonna come together and figure it out one way or another. And I think even when we were dating, for some reason, we had like a quick little disagreement one time to where he, in his words, he was about to dump me. But in my heart, I was like, you know what? Let me call him and apologize because I felt like, one, I believe this is my husband, and I feel like we need to fix this. We need to work it out. And I think that still carries into our marriage. Like, although I am ticked off, although you done made me mad or whatever the situation is, we're gonna work this out. Like, we're gonna get over this moment. And I think that's a very big adjustment that you have to make, that mentality. Like, no matter what, we're gonna be mad at this moment, but you're mine until the end. So we gonna be good.
Because ain't nobody going nowhere. Like, where are you going?
Where are you going?
Where?
Yeah, so I think the biggest adjustment for me, and for me is a little different because me and Jew were friends for so many years. where we really just was friends. So my biggest adjustment was actually adjusting to being his wife versus being his good friend. So that transition was very difficult because I often found myself responding as I like we were still just good friends versus this takes a wife to respond versus I'm just your friend.
Right.
So for me, I think that was the biggest transition. Is I had to see you in a different way than I had for how many years before we got married? It was a lot.
Yeah. A lot.
So yeah, that was for
Yeah.
me. That was the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what did y'all learn about yourself and about your spouse when you first got married? Like, what was one of the biggest things that, like, we may say we know somebody. Like, there was always so much more that I found out about you after marriage, even though I can say we were friends for a lot of years before we ever took a serious step to get married. But there was still all of these things that I had to learn. So for y'all, what was the biggest thing you learned about yourself, and then what was the biggest thing you learned about your spouse? Like when you
Something
first,
that I think. Oh,
Like
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
early on. So
Yeah.
like first couple years or first year or so.
Mine was that I still had a like I had pride, and I didn't um
Mm.
like criticism. I still don't like criticism in a lot of areas, but I learned that I had to just girl sit down and be humble. And because I felt like God kind of let him be in my life to see me in a capacity that nobody else can see me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And could confront certain areas, and I had to, in a sense, accept it as so, like a self-evaluation thing. So I think that was one thing for me. And like I said, it's a lot of areas where I'm like, okay, that was, that was wise. Take the advice or take the criticism or something like that. Um, and then I think something that I learned, not necessarily about him, but more so my role as a wife. Like it was just bigger than just saying, "Oh, I got the ring," or something like that. It was like, okay, I'm really supposed to help this man. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
learning, just in the same way that he helps me, that I'm supposed to help him. And I recently just seen a podcast in regards to like, she realized that she'll wake up and start doing everything else, and in a sense will cater or tend to her husband last, and just realizing that in a sense was wrong. Like I'm supposed to be his helpmate, but I don't help in a certain in a certain way. So I think, like I said, it helped me just learn what my duty is as an actual wife. Like I'm supposed to help. So I think that kind of just helped me. I'm still learning about him every single day.
Yeah.
That's to be continued. So
That pin
sorry.
getting a little close, ain't it?
So yeah, that's my answer.
You want to go, Mike?
Yes.
You want me to switch to Jolene?
Oh, can Devontae?
All right, I guess if I would say what I learned about me, um,
That'd be
one
you.
of the things I learned about me is that I'm way too nice. Like, I'm way too nice. Sometimes I need to be mean, especially when it comes to her. I need to be a lot more mean. Sometimes and I say that now, it sounds crazy, but sometimes when you early on, you got to be mean so you fix stuff for later. Like, I remember in counseling, it was saying if you didn't like the macaroni, just say you don't like the macaroni. That way she don't keep making it thinking it's your favorite dish. Like men as men, it's like when your wife asks you to do something, at least for me, I hate to say no sometimes, even though I know it's something I don't necessarily want to do. She's like, just throw something out there like, hey, I want lamb chops. And I'm like, okay, can we get lamb chops? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, no. I'm like, well, what is it hurting to get these lamb chops? But it's like, oh man. So it's like, man, I even tell myself still to this day, I'm still easy like that. I'm too easy going sometimes. I'm like, man, push over, toughen up. You can give yourself that pep talk sometimes. Hey. And then like if you tell her no and she give you that look, and men know the look, it's like, oh man, it's gonna be a while now. So you just gotta prepare yourself for when you do be mean, you ready for anything that's happening. And that's what I learned. Like, man, I should, would you move?
Sorry, our dog is over there.
Left you out. I'm sorry. So that was something I learned about me. Like, no, you gotta really like I thought because I wasn't this listen, when you get saved, your life changed a little. I used to be a little bit more assertive when it came to, dealing with women and things of that nature. But then, yeah, I got a little, anyway, I got too nice. I ain't gonna say the S word. I got too nice. But what I learned about me was that now what I learned about Randy is, man, listen.
Tread lightly.
Whew, listen, it's so much. But one of the things I learned is, I'll tell y'all like a quick story. I remember it was one night, it's like 2 a.m, and I'm like, what is this noise I keep hearing? And I'm sitting there like, what is this noise? So I'm wondering, I think I'm reaching over to tell Randy, like, hey, what's up? She gone. I'm like,
Yes, that's
what in the world? I go down. I come downstairs. She marching around the living room, praying and stomping. I'm like, oh, get that's what I learned. Okay. All right. Now, what attracted her to me originally was the fact that she was about her father's business. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, yeah, she really, really about like this was like repeatedly. And I'm like, well, what's going on? And at the time we was having conflict. So she just kept marching and praying and marching. I was like, you can't be mad at people when they marching and praying. Like you forget what you even mad about. I learned this. She was skilled at that art of doing that. So like on Sundays, I'm like, that's just normal. What y'all see, like, oh, I'm used to it because I'm like that her doing stuff like that. Being that I was never with nobody like that, first couple times it's a little weird. It's a little strange. You wake over, you roll over, go to tap your lady, and you hear this whining, and it's strange. Like I said, I wasn't used to that. Like if you'd have done that before, I'd have been like, yeah, I think I'm gonna be leaving now because something ain't right with this one. She's a little strange. Then I know what she was going through and all that. It was like, so that was just something to learn. Like you gotta, and I guess that's because it's a Christian wife. I don't know if it's like that for well, I know it ain't like that for single folks, but it just take a lot to get adjusted to that type of when your wife is really strong. Into that, you gotta make adjustments for yourself so that you can be prepared for something like
That's the thing. Oh my gosh.
Jolene said Devontae got to go first. So go ahead, Devontae.
I think for me, mine was kind of the opposite of Mike, just being more gentle. I'm an athlete, so I was like somebody could talk to me a certain kind of way, and I could just hear what they saying and not pay attention to how they saying it to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like my response, even still, like my response is it has to be better. Like, and I understand now that the way I respond can really determine if we're gonna go left or if we're gonna, you know what I'm saying, if we just gonna be, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that was something I'm learning about stuff and still working on. And what I learned about Jolene is that she there's a Jolene.
Red light, brother.
There's a Jolene, and then there's a JoJo, and then there's a Joe. I'm just like, nah, but I mean, it just, I don't know. I'm still learning a lot about my wife. That she just that there's a Jolene and there's a Joe. There's a JoJo. Like this it's a few of them.
He-Man.
Did he say He-Mans? Oh my God.
It's a few.
There's Pastor Randy.
I mean,
and there's
everything
Randy, and
like
there's
a few of me
Sparkle.
too is a priority, you know. But there's yeah,
You
definitely.
see all of me,
Yeah, I am. I'm seeing all of
you
her.
know?
Yeah. But no, yeah, that's 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 it. We just put it at that.
Smart man.
Yes, it's levels to this.
Definitely.
All right, Jolene.
Well, I think the first thing that I learned was who I'm not. Who I thought I was, maybe was who I'm not.
I'm with
Because,
you.
huh?
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Learn who I'm not.
You know, like Randy said, the pride or arrogance or what I lack, you know what I mean? When you are living with somebody, they see who, you know, all your flaws. So you learn real quickly who you're not
Yeah.
and what you need to work on. And I think that I struggle sometimes because I think like Randy, like I just feel like I felt like I was very strong and independent. And so inviting somebody into our space and for us, like we never had kids, we didn't date and Randy and Mike were the same way as far as like not dating. We all both of us as couples got married right away. You know what I mean? So there wasn't the transition, and I was single for so long that I don't know. It was like I felt like my whole world got flipped upside down. It's almost like and this is gonna sound really like you grieve who you were. Do you know what I mean? And it felt like even though walking into a blessing and everything is blessed, it's like I always tell myself I'm thankful that I was thankful for my singlehood and that I didn't try to rush it away. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is a blessing, but there are definitely like things that he has seen people get JoJo and he gets Jolene sometimes with the capital. You know? And then so that was what I learned about myself, and then learning how to humble myself and sometimes being the first one to apologize. I feel like I'm good with that with other people, but I'm not great with that with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
I said, wow.
Yeah. So like I don't have a problem doing that with other people, but I struggle with that sometimes here. And what was the other?
I think that was all.
Or what I learned about Devontae.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's about his relationship with God. He's Randy at 2:00 in the morning. I could take you to every wall and every mirror and every doorway that's dripping with oil right now. Anoints our house every other night in the middle of the night. So yeah, just that he's not that I didn't think he was real before.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look at me.
I'm going first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll work. So what did I learn about me when I first got married? Was I actually felt like my whole world had got flipped upside down too. And although I had been married before, it's a difference between being in a toxic relationship and then being in a healthy relationship. So I felt like I had kind of lost who I thought I was. And so I had to learn that who I was existing as in my former relationships was somebody totally and completely different than who I actually was. And so when we first got married, it was a process of learning who I was. So that was the biggest thing that I learned about me, is that I wasn't who I thought I was. And so that took some time to get used to make that to make the transition to in a healthy relationship, really, for lack of a better word. And what did I learn about you? was not much. How you gonna tell me what I learned? Um, so in the beginning, the thing that I learned about Jew was he I don't know, it's kind of weird to say, but it's like he's always been stability for me. Even when we was like kids, for lack of a better word, like he was always the most constant. And so even though we didn't have our ups and downs in our marriage, he's still just always been like constant. Like he's always been the most constant person. Mhm. And so then what I guess what I could say together is that together we found out we were built stronger than some of the stuff that's done hit our marriage. Some of the stuff that, used to be a deal breaker ended up not being a deal breaker. So yeah,
Oh, it's on me.
it is your turn.
All right. In light of
turn.
No,
who said my turn?
turn.
Oh, so what I learned about myself, I know everybody's talking about like I wasn't who I thought I was. Like I had to learn, and I learned after some soul searching and whatnot. I learned that I couldn't be who I once was. So like I knew who I was coming into the marriage, who I had been when I was single or when we was dating or whatever. But based off of some stuff that happened in the beginning of our marriage, I learned pretty quick. Well, not pretty quick, but pretty quick after it happened, that like I couldn't be that same person. Not if I was going to stay in this marriage. The marriage was going to be what I felt like it should be and it would be in the long run. About Tia, what I learned about Tia.
I feel like you're breathing too hard. Like, what is that about?
No, but I just learned like I mean, I can't go around and find the oil on the doors and all that like Devontae, but I did learn that like the God in her was real, like really real, and not like yeah, I know God was real, but like I used to have that it don't take all that type of mentality, and I learned like through her like yeah, it do, because if it didn't, we probably wouldn't be sitting right here for real. So
Right.
that's kind of what I learned about myself, and then what I learned about her and through her. So, all right. So next question. We moving on.
I know you ain't want me to make no comments about that.
Wow.
So the next question is really the same question, but it's more asking like at this stage of y'all's marriage, like has what y'all learned about each other, has it changed? Has it grown into more? Or like what's that biggest thing that at this stage of y'all's marriage have y'all like really had to evolve or change your mind about, or something to that effect? I'm gonna have you go first, actually.
Well, I got first.
Yeah, I think you should go first too, Joseph.
What's the question?
What have you learned in this season of your marriage?
In this season of our marriage? In this season of our marriage. I did. You said in this season of our marriage.
I did.
Yeah, actually I am thinking. But I mean it's like realistically it's funny, but it's just when whoever said, I don't know if it was Destiny, but like just really that there are levels to it. You know what I'm saying? Just how like how it really takes both people. You know what I'm saying? It takes both people to make the marriage work like to its maximum. So like, and it really is like a we over me type of thing, where it's like if I'm faltering in a space or whatever, she holding me down. You know what I'm saying, or vice versa. I remember like a few weeks ago, I think it was,
See one back there.
She was just telling me she was in a space where she was just going through some stuff in her mind, and like I had no idea really, but like the music that I had just been playing and playing and playing, and she like, what? What?
I was gonna comment that you was singing too. He forgot that.
I was playing the music and I was doing.
Jude, let's hear it. Ahem.
Where's the music?
In your belly.
I don't do acapulco. I'll sing with the music, but I ain't doing it by myself. But no, like it just.
Are you still in the choir?
No, ma'am. They retired.
No, no, they did.
But no, I just kind of learned like that if we're in tune, stuff like that isn't foreign to us, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like she was telling me the other day, like when she asked me about our topic, she's like, "Oh, if you didn't have nothing," that's exactly what I was gonna say. And I'm just like,
very weird.
Yeah, really weird. But it happens a lot, honestly. And so like I just learned that hey, if you really in tune and you know some stuff that you might think is weird happens, but it's not really weird, it's just in tune.
Okay. Devontae?
Are we doing the women? We doing the women second?
Yes.
Okay, I was just wondering why you skipped you.
Prepare to go second. What have you learned?
Continue, Ray. I mean Devontae.
Ain't nobody doing that.
So the fact that you picked that up that quick is fair. I digress.
That season.
Do y'all hear Charlie?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
hollering.
she's fine.
Can you hear in the background?
She getting on my nerve.
No, not when she was right there with you. But
Oh. Okay, good. Because she's back in her room crying.
oh yeah.
I have learned,
She has.
and not to be too spiritual, but
Yelling at them.
I need to be seeking the Lord often.
Yeah.
Because he helps. I mean, if I'm not doing that and I'm off, it affects my whole house.
Mm-hmm.
So in this season, I mean, Pastor just told me the other day I need to just make sure I'm in my word. So since that day he told me, I've been in my word, just because I just want to be better. You know, my wife, I want to be better for myself. I want to be better for my children. So I think that's the biggest thing for me is making sure that I'm not just seeking God's hand, but I'm actually seeking His face. So
That's good.
I really love that. Seek ye first the kingdom and His righteousness, and everything else will fall into place. So I kind of try to live by that.
Yeah.
So.
Good. Michael Moore?
I felt like we needed like some music behind you. Marsha, where you at?
He on there, I think. Go ahead.
On this season, what I've learned, I would have to say, it would be something to the effects of don't drop the ball. You did a lot to get to where you are, whether you in the beginning, middle, or learn long time in. But you can become complacent. I think men, we can become complacent, and you can get into a sense of going through motions rather than actually, communicating, talking, finding out. I once said on one of my podcasts something I learned, that we sometimes try to go above and beyond for our wives and family and things like that, when that's not really what they want us to do. Sometimes they just want us to be present, or they just want us to do certain things that, just around the house, like simple stuff. we might want to try to build them a mansion when they really just want a ranch, you know. So it's just sometimes we go above and try to do too much, and then try and do too much. You can actually drop the ball because, like I think Randy has said earlier, you can forget to do. You can be trying to do so much for them that you forget them.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's something that I would say I have learned in this season. So you want to always stay on top of it. Men want to stay on top of it and try to continue to grow and find out your wife's love languages and things like that, because that stuff does come into play a lot more than what I ever thought it would. Uh, it can help you out in some jams you may find yourself in. But knowing that stuff just keeps you, it just keeps you, it keeps you going. I think it keeps you motivated. And like I said, knowing what she actually wants, like take the time to ask her, what does she expect out of you versus you trying to give her Superman when sometimes she just wants Clark Kent.
Mhm.
And I learned that as women, sometimes on the back end. Well, we'll talk about that later. Well, yeah, that's my answer. Yep. Just don't drop the ball. That's the main thing. You know, on both sides, on your side, both sides. You just don't want to become too complacent. I mean, you hear people say all the time, keep dating, and that's great advice, but it's bigger than just date. You know, it's more about keep the lines of communication open. Remember to be friends. Don't start feeling like you sleeping with a roommate. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Make it feel like always have a reason to be intentional about what you're doing when you're doing something for them, because yeah, complacency is real. You can just get too comfortable,
Yeah.
and that's all. Just gotta be worked on.
What about you, Randy?
Yes. Complacency kills. So I think something that I learned in this season is that we're different. We are different people than we were 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think being intentional of learning, kind of like what he said, knowing, the love languages and different things like that, or just different. Being intentional with asking questions or like noticing, differences. Like I noticed that, you're a little more agitated on this aspect, or you're a little more passionate here because now our lives have changed. More things have come into play, our kids, their schedules, work schedules, passions, all that stuff, and not just thinking like what worked then is going to work now. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like our lives are totally different than they were even last year.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like literally not being so go minded, and focused on the way things are and were, and actually seeing like this is what's working right now, or this is how we
Mhm.
need to pivot, this is how we need to change to make things better. We need to be intentional with um setting aside our time, because we've been so focused on these kids and all those different things. So just realizing like we're changing, we're forever developing within ourselves, and that affects our marriage ultimately. So I think that's that. It's just knowing that we are different than we were before.
Yeah. Mm. What about you, Jolene?
So, okay, repeat the question one more time.
What have you learned in this season of your marriage?
Um,
Sick.
that's a great question. That I definitely could not do this without Jesus.
Mhm.
And that I can either choose to be a part of the team, or choose to like, I think him and I right now are learning how to become a team, right? To move forward. We have a lot of great things going on. There's a lot of great things that we want to move forward in, and we're learning how to balance marriage, kids, work and not just jobs, but being entrepreneurs, opening up new businesses, and all of the things that come with that, while still putting God in the center, still making my husband, you know, it goes God, then your husband, God, then your wife, you know what I mean? And not allowing all of these other things. I think that like I can tell you, we don't really date, you know what I mean? And so learning how to like reprioritize the things that need to come first. We can be successful, so that we can be a team the way that we're supposed to. You know what I mean? I think we just, the last couple of years have been a whirlwind. I think we've gone through a lot, but we've bumped our head a lot, but I know that we've always stuck it out and toughed it out. I believe this year is a year of increase for us. And just, I believe God has a lot of great things for us, but the last couple have just been learning how to like really just prioritize and be a team. So I feel like this is team building season.
Yeah, that's good.
Not all about who is right and who is wrong either. You know what I mean?
So, you know, sometimes I don't think we, a lot of times we fall into the pattern, especially when we disagree with each other. We always fall back on I'm right and he wrong, or vice versa, or however that is. And then just being able to kind of sit back and realize that's not the point of it all. Like that's it sometimes. Like he ain't right, I ain't right. We both wrong.
Both wrong, dead wrong.
She be right.
I'm just saying. So something that I've learned in this season of marriage is that it's absolutely okay to go to bed and let him handle it. Like I'm very busy sometimes, like just doing a lot of stuff. And so sometimes, and then I get up at the crack of dawn. Like I get up at the crack of dawn sometimes. And so there's multiple, and I used to feel really, really bad because I felt like I wasn't pulling my weight as a wife or as a mom. And so I was praying, and this just been like a recent thing for me, honestly. I was praying this one day, and remember that like little video clip thing that I had sent you, and this was all kind of part of it. I had sent you this like little video clip, and it was this a husband, was it the husband or the wife said it?
The husband.
So the husband basically said he believed, now don't get me wrong, because this marriage didn't work out, but what he said actually made sense. He said he believed that he was there for basically for the purpose of his wife being brought out, even though their marriage ended up not working. And so, you know, we take what we can take and then spit out everything else. But that kind of resonated with me because I had to really sit and think about it. And it was like, wow, it's okay to rely on him for who God created him to be for my husband. Like, I think there's a purpose for each individual in their marriage. Like, okay, Jolene, what have you pulled out of Devontae? Devontae, what have you pulled out of Jolene? And so I really had to sit there and think about that. Like, for me personally in this season, it is a lot of busy going to this place or going to speak here or going to speak there. And being okay with the fact that I do have a husband at home that can do homework with the kids and can, you know, cook dinner and clean the house and wash the clothes. Being okay and being able to accept that that's okay in our marriage. At this season in our marriage, it's okay to accept that he brings all of that when I wasn't I used to literally beat myself up because I don't like to cook. Like, I do not like to cook. I mean, I like to create in the kitchen, as I say, but I don't like to cook dinner every night. That's just like boring to me. I don't want to do that. And so I used to beat myself up on all of these things that I felt like a wife should be doing in their marriage. And I had to finally accept that my marriage is not going to look like everybody's marriage. And it's okay that you cook and I create. Like, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. You know, that's what makes us tick. That's what make our marriage work. Like what he's been, just by him being him, he's been able to pull out of me, really going hard for Legacy 31. He's been able to really pull out of me some of the things that, you know, God has for me. He was able to pull me out of dark, deep despair type stuff just because he was who he was. And you know, being able to recognize that, and you know, I don't know, like care even more and love even more, because now I'm recognizing that if I hadn't have been married to him in this season, I wouldn't be doing all of the things that I'm supposed to be doing, you know, right now. And that's okay. So that's something recently I learned, like probably last week. And so it's just
I'm gonna give you an offering because that's true. I agree, and I'm in the same boat with you as far as being thankful for. That's why the purposeful marriages and really believing, although somebody really don't think that God can give you your. I mean, I know it's really language how you say it, as far as like God giving you your spouse or God leading you to your spouse, different things like that. But you know, we have our stance on that because I feel like we offer a lot of balance to each other. And when our seasons change, you understand, like there may be a time where he is holding it down in all these areas, but eventually, what if those tables turn
right,
and you know it's the shoe is on the other foot, you know? But we're not gonna sit there and be mad or angry. We're just gonna understand we're each other's balance.
Right.
Now things are just what is it? We ebb and flowing. We working out in
Mhm.
every season in every way, and I think it would be a disservice to kind of just. I mean, unless I don't know. I didn't even want to go down there. But okay. Yes. Thank God for the ones that do what they do and
mhm,
allow us to be who we be. It reminds me of like how how Pastor always thank, Lady K for allowing him to be, who he is, because you have to have that capacity when you're being, poured out in so many areas or being pulled on in so many areas. All of us on here, we're in leadership in some type of capacity in the church, our home, our jobs, all of those areas. And you have to have a partner that understand that. Like
mhm.
sometimes I may be at the office late. Sometimes I might be, on the Zoom call doing conferences and all this stuff. Why y'all all looking like, look at the men, look at all of them. Look how they looking.
Y'all got the same face.
The same face. But you just gotta be thankful. That's why it's so wise to consider who you marry
Yes,
for
definitely.
that reason.
Mhm. It's so funny because it take a lot of years to get to the place of where you can see it that way, though.
Mhm.
Like how many, man, you've been married 14, almost 14 years. And I'm just now getting to the place to where I can be accepting of, you know, why he's my husband.
Mm.
You know, like God have shown me over the years, but being accepting of who your husband is, that's a different space to be in. To be like, this is why this is my husband. This right here is why. And I'm in that space right now. Like, man, I do got somebody who literally got my back. Like 99% of the time, he got my back.
100.
100% of the time, he has my back. When it comes to certain things, and like that's something to be
Yeah.
thankful for. Because not every wife has that. Not every husband has that, where somebody literally has your back and only want the best for you. I want the best for you, and however I can help you achieve your best, that's what I'm willing to do, because I want you to be the best you that you're about to be. I want you to be who God has called you to be, and I don't want to stand in the way of that. Like literally, like realizing not everybody has that in their marriage where their spouse has that mindset. And so
Mhm.
that's an amazing feeling to really have that. So I'm gonna, like, you got some other questions here, but I was actually thinking about something totally different with our last question.
That's fine.
So I actually want to ask the question, like, because I truly believe that every marriage has a ministry in that marriage. Like, even though we all are pulled to do certain different things, like, but I believe as a couple, like, we know marriage is ministry, but as a couple, do you guys feel like as a couple, there's a ministry for y'all as a couple? Not what y'all do separately, not Pastor Randy, but as Mike and Randy mold. Do y'all feel like there's a ministry, and what do y'all think that ministry may be? I mean, the Harrises can go
That's
first.
a good question. I don't know.
Well, I think, and then I don't necessarily know if this is the right answer. I think we're like in the blessing ministry. This may be corny, but when we go places, God has blessed us with a giving heart, a
Mhm.
generous spirit. And so like it was this one time where we committed, and this is so bad, health practices. We would go to Steak and Shake was it Wednesdays? Every Wednesday, like for a whole 3-4 months straight. And we ended up getting, it was like a certain server. And every single time we went, we just added on to the tips. Like,
Mhm.
$10, $20, $30 for, like, we just literally just kept going. And they were just like, blown away. But I feel like it was, God putting us in a position to where they were able to see, the love of God or the generosity or whatever, because he know what people need, you know what I mean? But we do certain things sometimes without consulting each other too, but be like, oh, I bless this person, or something like that. So I think we are like little blessers to people. So I don't know.
Blessers.
I don't know if that's a real thing, but to get
Blessers?
Yeah, it's
like
a real thing to be blessers.
little
I don't know
angels.
if the word is real, but the act is real.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to call it, but I think just collectively, that's the only thing I can think of, because I mean, it's like you said, individually, there's ministry, you know what I mean, mentoring and different things like that. But kind of just come together, we just be on one mind, one accord, like, oh yeah, we need to bless this person, or we need to do this, or we need to do that. And or if I say, honey, it was on my heart to do XYZ, and you're like, okay.
And no
And
backlash.
vice versa. I don't know. That's my first thought. I said it's corny, but
It's not. I mean, because Devontae was still smiling, so I'm gonna move to me and Jew. But I agree, because I think that's partially like me and Jew as well. We bless people all the time, like no questions asked. Like, hey, I want to. Yep, go right ahead. Like I sent somebody $100 for food the other day. I ain't even asked you. I just, hey, $50 for. So, but so even though that wasn't like something I cleared with him before I did that, like there was at no point in time did I feel like he's gonna be mad that I did that. So I believe when it comes to like not just blessing people, but just helping people in general. People ask me and you all the time, can y'all talk to us? Can y'all do this? And I'll be like, okay, well, sure. I remember a long time ago, this lady said something to me. She was like, I look at you and your husband, and I just be like, man, I wish me and my husband was like that. And I literally rolled my eyes in my head, like, ma'am, man, like you have no idea. But that also taught me something, like just because we're going through, having the ability to not have the whole world see what you're going through, that's a skill and a feat amongst itself. And then to still be able to turn around and offer somebody something in the midst of what you're going through. So I think for us, like, I think it's just helping people, like, whatever God lay on our heart about somebody, just helping them through that, be it financial or just let's chill for a little bit. So you agree?
just took your head down.
Okay.
I'm just noticing.
He agrees with me, so I guess I'm on the right track.
Harrises.
Go ahead, babe.
Well, I can definitely tell you that I feel like we are also blessers when we go out, and also being on like one mind, one accord. Since I've been, sometimes I'll see numbers, or he'll be like, "That's what I saw," or when we go out, just to bless people, but also encouraging, or you know what I mean, encouraging people when we're out, strangers. You know what I mean? I guess I want to say, not that we're evangelizing, but just showing ourselves friendly, you know what I mean? And starting conversations and just I don't meeting people wherever we go.
Love.
And, yeah,
We just
I
love
love it
people.
on people,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
And then being obedient, and obviously, I mean, I feel like we're generous. That's just the house we're under in general.
Yeah.
Blessed to be a blessing, and so, and then that comes with conversation too, which is cool. But as far as anything outside of that, I wouldn't know what the heck.
Maybe a laugh in ministry.
Oh my
We be
gosh.
clowning. We do be clowning. If that's a ministry, I don't know. If you said the ministry, I don't know.
Yeah, but that like
Laughter's good.
I really think like sometimes like that kind of question. I think sometimes we overthink it. You know what I mean? And we think like, and it's not down on what you said, Randy, but like, oh, it's corny. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like it's not, because you are doing everything that God has you to do. You know what I'm saying? Like you might be like, oh, it's corny, or I don't know if that's the right word or the right way to say it, but that's exactly what it is, though. All of those little things, even the laughing together, is ministry. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you don't know, like, if she wasn't laughing, maybe she'd be crying. You know what I'm saying? Or man, like you told that joke today and I had the worst day on earth, but forget about that because that was so hilarious that now I forgot all about that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not even thinking about that. So I think sometimes we overthink it because the word ministry is attached to the question. So we think like, oh, got to be something deep and like maybe let me find the passage in the Bible. And it's like, no, like maybe your ministry is to like have people laugh, help people laugh. And relax.
Can I say something? One of the other things, and that has always been a personal prayer, and then like something we've always said is that we wanted to always open up our home. I like to feed people, and cook and stuff like that. And we did game night, and obviously our home now is not.
Oh, you talking about the one game night that the Pains didn't go to?
Yeah.
Or the balls.
All right.
We've done a couple, but like that has been like, I know one of our prayers, even as we transition into like our own home, is that it would be like an open door for people to come and have rest and to laugh and to play games and to be fed well and stuff. So that's always been something that we could say that we want to do too, and that we started to do in a smaller
That's what we said, or the whiteheads.
Or the whiteheads.
Or the whiteheads.
All right.
And one thing, and sorry, T, I know we probably got, because we hit that hour mark. The other thing too, I think what we all do, unknowingly, and not to be fake or, to be, private or anything like that. I think openly is just our ministry, because we know people are watching us. You know what I mean? To be able to restore that hope, in a sense. Like, you can still be young, you can still be, married, you can still have it going on, you can still, because since marriage is, kind of this taboo thing, or whatever, everybody in everybody's DMs and all this stuff, but to show at the end of the day, like, we're in this for real, it's work, but we're married for real, and we believe we're gonna see this thing through. So like that open display ministry, like, and being honest, being real, conversations like this, like, look, at the end of the day, it's struggles, there's pain, there's ups, there's downs, but there's still a brighter side to everything. So you see me, you see us, and we see y'all, all that stuff, so
I mean, I gotta be honest, like, in this season, marriage has been fun. I've had a lot of fun. So ignorant, man. But marriage has been fun for me. And I tell people all the time, I was the one. I struggled a lot in our marriage, a lot. But I'm happy that in this season, like, I'm reaping the benefits of, you never leaving me, because I was the one always threatening to leave. But just now being able to reap the benefit and enjoy who my husband is, and all that. I mean, I know we always hear about people bringing stuff to the table, but literally, like, enjoying everything that he's brought to us as pain reality, So it is a little after 10, so we're gonna wrap up. But I want you guys to offer something to a struggling couple. Like, what is something that you can offer a couple, who's been watching or who may even watch this later, but something that you can offer, some piece of advice that you can offer a struggling couple as they're trying to, walk away with the mindset that we all got, that we in it to win this thing, that we not giving up, we gonna keep on pushing.
I mean,
Do the work and don't give up. Don't be a punk. No, I'm just playing.
That's real.
just keep pushing.
No, seriously. Understand that your spouse is not your enemy.
Mhm.
That there is a greater enemy that doesn't want you to succeed. So that way you can have a different perspective to do the work. If you need counseling, go to counseling. If you need to pray, pray. If you need to be like, okay, God, help me with me, because it's not necessarily them, or help me with me until you help them with them, so
Yeah.
I can be okay, so do
Mhm.
the work. Don't back down.
You got anything, Mike?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Also, uh, actually, yeah, I think I'm gonna do a podcast on not dropping the ball. You could always tune in to the Maul It Over podcast. Shameless plug. But yes,
Edit.
that was,
No.
We're live, baby. We're live.
but yeah, we go. I would say pretty much same thing. Just stay with it. Uh, uh, when it gets hard, don't bail, or don't get, too discouraged, because it's a part of it. Like, I think someone referred to it as like a roller coaster. It's ups and downs, but you got to stay on the ride to enjoy it. So
Yeah.
I would just say, stay strong. And then when you do go feel like you're in a place uh of adversity or whatever, I think sometimes you need to go to that person and really like find a way, go to the person and talk to them. You ain't got to talk at them, just talk to them. And then sometimes you come to find out that you guys may have maybe saying the same thing in a different way.
Yeah.
And you realize that y'all just arguing or y'all mad or whatever it is over nothing. So I would say that, like she said, don't just give up because it gets hard or it gets discouraging, or sometimes they're gonna get on your nerves. You just gotta keep going and keep pushing through that. Because on the end of that, the the love that you guys have for each other will push you through it, and the love for God. Put God first, and the rest will just fall into place. Because like everyone has stated tonight, putting God first will definitely sustain your marriage. I
Honey,
always
this is supposed to be
stressed.
a short tip.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, just put God first, and
Hey,
yeah, my fault, y'all. My
That's
fault.
that's
That's a
that
good question.
That was
Huh?
satisfying.
that's that balance she bringing.
All right, here.
I mean, just simple. Just keep pushing. I mean, you're gonna have ups, you're gonna have downs, but I tell her all the time, it's for the rest of your life. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what I get.
So you in there.
yeah, the rest of her life. And then just, I don't know, just adjust as well. Like roll with the punches. But
Yeah, Justin ain't a bad word.
Yeah.
yeah, let's go.
Yeah, growth is normal. You ain't gonna be the same person in 5 years you is right now anyway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's true. So true. You want to offer anything, Jolene?
You know what? I think everyone covered it. I just know that without Jesus, he can fix anything. But I don't know how people do it without him. That's all I'm gonna say.
Facts.
Amen.
Amen.
What you got for me?
Yeah.
Well, ditto to everything that was said. Keep pushing, do the work. It's not always going to be easy. I would say in that same vein, just be 100% in. There's no blueprint, but if you're not 100% in, then it's definitely not going to work. be half in, half out. So not only do the work, but commit to being 100% in on your marriage. If that's what you want, if that's what you want, and you want your marriage to succeed, both parties got to be 100% in. There's no 50-50. It's 100-100.
So 200.
No, whatever it adds up to, dear.
Dear.
Well, you really called me that too. I'd be like, where did that come from?
I know you do. Eat a little spoon. I just playing, man. See, look, now you getting tight over there.
Hey, we're not about to have no discussion about these spoons.
You one who brought it up. You took 20,000 minutes to laugh on one show about being a little spoon. That's
Hey, no,
terrible.
that was hilarious.
Oh, sorry.
Good job, Blake.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, I seen it.
She proud of you, Jew, for not rushing everybody off the live at 10. Good job, buddy. Because he will rush you one off. I told my friend the other day, me and her was talking, and I told her, because she was struggling, and I told her, I said, sometimes you just got to go back to the beginning and just kind of rediscover who it is that you married. Who is that person? And then, who was that person now? Like, it's still the same person at the end of the day. But again, making those adjustments and, realizing, like, am I in this for the long haul? Can we be in this for the long haul? And then just honestly taking that time to begin dating again. Making sure, you paying attention to who your spouse is. I think that's probably the biggest piece of advice I can give anybody is, like, who is your spouse, and pay attention to who that person is, and making sure you pouring into that person, because it is forever. We ain't at this point. It's like we're not going nowhere. So to keep this thing alive, I got to pour into that person. I got to be willing to let them pour into me too, and adjust accordingly. And so, make sure God is the center. That's probably the biggest piece of advice.
For sure.
Make sure God is the center.
Yes, honey.
Mm-hmm. That's the best part.
Yeah.
So we appreciate all of y'all for coming on. We really do. What?
No, go ahead.
My bad. Did I cut you off? Did I
No,
cut somebody off?
you didn't cut me off at all.
You sure?
Yes.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You was ready.
No, I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just telling everybody we appreciate them being on.
We are on every other week at 9 p.m. Thank you, Destiny. You rock as well. Oh, wait, I missed that one. It was you guys.
Top.
Spell rock roll.
That's what it was.
You guys top.
All right, go ahead. What's up?
No, we appreciate y'all though. We love y'all. And we're gonna have y'all back again one day. We don't know when, we don't know what the topic will be, but it's always enlightening to have
Different
wisdom.
perspectives.
Yeah, different perspectives, wisdom. We love y'all. Y'all fam.
Love y'all too.
Love y'all.
Love you too. Love y'all too. Love y'all too.
That's all we got,
Solid.
y'all. You watch that.
Pass up top.
Solid.
Oh man.
All right, y'all. We will see y'all next time. 2 weeks with some topic that we're gonna come up with.
I got another good topic.
He's just saying that for right now.
I am. I'll have one though.
You will. I believe in you. I'm pulling it
Jill,
out.
sing the theme song.
Huh?
Close us out.
I don't sing.
Just one time, my brother. One time.
All right, what y'all want to hear?
The theme song.
No.
He's able.
Oh, he's thinking about that one.
I am not about to sing, man. Y'all got me messed up.
All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Peace
Peace.
out.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.
Okay. Let's say, because you can still hear.